Hey, this is Jacob Jackson with Stonewall Financials. In this video, I will be discussing your financial vitals and how you can improve them. So just like how you need to go to the gym to work out to help improve your cardiovascular fitness, hopefully decrease your blood pressure, improve what your resting heart rate is, we can also improve our financial health by working on the few of the next points that I will be talking about and discussing in this video. So first and foremost, you need to know where you are currently at. So just like if you're going to a party or traveling to a new city, in order to get the instructions correct, you need to start from your current location. Directions start from where you are, not from where you are going. So it's pivotal that you know what your debts are, what your expenses are, knowing what your cash flow is, and also you have to have this down pat. It needs to be in writing. So first and foremost is debts. You need to list all of them out. You need to write this information down, have it really well organized. You want to know how much you owe and at what rate or interest is going on to that. So even if you owe Joe down the street all the way from Fannie Mae, whether it's car loans, student loans, credit cards, mortgage, furniture, everything that you need, everything that you owe needs to be written down and needs to be added in this category. Secondly, you need to know what your expenses are. This will be your fixed and unfixed expenses. This will be, for unfixed expenses will include like your water, your electric bill, your gas. You need to find and look at patterns so you can know and expect what to expect on the high end and what you can maybe look for on the lower end. On fixed expenses will include things like your internet, some phone plans, your rent or mortgage, insurance. So you need to again look up all that, have it in writing. Thirdly, again, it's know what your cash flow is. How much money will you be taking home each paycheck? Does this vary? If so, how much? Why? Do you have any side gigs? Any other income sources? You need to collect this information together and make a conservative estimate of what your income will be each month. Do not assume it to be on the higher end. Plan for the worst, strive for the best. All this information, again, as I will stress, needs to be in writing. I recommend, and I use often Excel or sheets from Google. It really makes things simpler, and you can put in equations in to help add up the information relatively simple, and you get a lot more in depth with it too. But it gives you flexibility, and it is cheap, which again, I like. But this will help really make the reality of your situation real, for better or for worse. It'll be tangible, and it'll actually be then something you can fix and improve in your life. Otherwise, if you take it very passively, you will just find yourself in debt for a long time. Again, you want to make sure that this is in writing. You have how much you owe, at what interest percentage. You want to make sure it's real, tangible, so it's something you can fix. Secondly, you need to develop a detailed and sustainable monthly or termly budget. I can talk about this in another video. Termly budget is something I recommend typically for college students, where a monthly budget is something I would recommend for most individuals. So the budget must be mendable, meaning that you might be traveling a lot more in the summer, and for those months need higher budget for travel expenses, whereas like in December or a month where you have lots of birthdays, you might need a higher part on your budget for a gift section. So again, it's not something that's always this much for food, this much for travel, this much for whatever. Again, it has to be mendable where you can shift numbers to and fro. Secondly, you need to edit it monthly. So you need to determine prior to what you are spending in each category. You need to pull out your calendar, whether it's electronic or in paper, and you need to figure out what birthdays are coming up for friends and family. What are some events for work and just family life? What is the work scheduling looking like? Are you taking time off? So is it going to be less money coming in that month? What are the schooling events? What are your kids participating in? Are there sports that you need to buy new shoes for? You need to look at all these expected costs for the upcoming month and budget it into those sections. If you look forward to the next month and see you have a trip a few hours away, birthdays for friends and family, and your yearly doctor's checkup, you can plan for these expenses so they do not blindside you. Otherwise, it's going to put you in a compromised situation and you'll end up potentially getting in more debt or not being able to be as focused in as what you could be. With that said, and as I mentioned before, you need to make sure that your budget is categorical, meaning that you have a section for your debts. You have a section for parties or eating out, for your phone bill, for your electric bill. Each part has its own section or category with its money listed off to the side. I want to make sure that you miss nothing in this budget section. I have added a unexpected category in my budget because there's always something that comes up that again, it's unexpected. But with that said, if unexpected expenses seem rather regular over time, you need to make sure that you create their own category for it as well. You also need to make sure that you provide yourself a little cushion. General rule of thumb is be conservative with your expected income and expect things to cost a little higher than what you might anticipate. But with that said, make sure that you do not let that justify you spending more to fill that quota for that expense. On a different note, this does not include your untouchable emergency fund. Before you put the pedal to the metal on paying off debts or start investing, you need to first establish an emergency fund so if crap hits the fan in your life, you can have some funds to fall back on and not go further in debt. What classifies as an emergency fund? Think of food, shelter, safety, or should I say preventing you from starving, going without shelter, and not bleeding out. These funds should not be an excuse for eating out, hotel stays, or the latest essential oils or whatever crap you want to do to improve up your health. I can go more in depth with this in another video if you guys want, but for right now, that suffices. Next huge step is determine what your margin is. So what is your wiggle room? So when you minus your expenses from your income, are you in the red or are you in the green? Do you have extra funds to invest, or can you divert more to paying down your debts? Pretty much, what is your current circumstance? Do you need to cut more expenses, or do you need to get potentially another job or change jobs or consider other options here? You need to figure out what is your margin. Once you know what your margin is and what situation you're really in, you can then map out your plan. And again, this needs to be very detailed, and I recommend month per month. So what will you pay each month? And then how much will you be diverting to, whether it's investing or paying off debts, depending on what your individual circumstance is. But this will be able to help you see and understand how much growth you can expect and plan on. And these numbers you should be able to know and be familiar with if you really want to strive to grow wealth in your life. You need to stick to the plan that you make. I recommend telling people what you're doing. Again, this will be work. This isn't going to be easy. It takes quite a bit of time and effort on your part, especially if you're budgeting out. Every time you make an expense, I recommend you have to open up your budget again, input in what it cost you, and again, it takes some time. So make it as easy as you can for yourself. Again, I use an app. I use the Google Sheets, and I have it per month on there, and I also have my investing done automatically for me set up. I use M1 Finance, I use Robinhood, and I have my 401k. I recommend you make landmarks and milestones for your achievements. So again, it keeps you excited into it, and you can see the progress that you're seeing. Dave Ramsey's snowball effect is real. Please get on to it. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. You need to make sure you review your plan often. challenge yourself. Try to push yourself to go to your limits there. Don't automate your debt payments. I want you to be really familiar with what you're paying each month for that and see if you can pretty much expedite it and improve that a little bit better. If you have any follow-up questions, please comment below and ask me. Again, please like and subscribe and share. My success in this endeavor is really in your hands. So I please ask you for any liking, subscribing, and especially sharing it as best you can. Again, I'll try to make the quality of the videos even better as we come along, but it is a learning process for me as well. Anyway, hope you guys have a lovely day and take care. If you have any questions, again, please comment below. Ciao.